Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today, in preparation for the new content that is going to be dropping tomorrow at the time of this recording, I wanted to go over every card within the deck of Whispers, even the ones we don't have, what they do, and what the best deck looks like, including the special secret card that I don't think many people know about. First things first, let's quickly talk about both the major and minor cards. Minor cards are, well, pretty minor. And since you're here to know about the major cards, we're just gonna do a super fast breeze over the minor ones. So minor cards come in two forms and one special form. The normal forms are either seasonal upgrades that allow you to do things like getting red borders from focusing or allowing you to use keys at the end of activities. Also, if you want to know what these minor card upgrades are going to look like, just open Season of the Deep's Seasonal Bonuses tab and you'll see pretty much exactly what they're going to be. And then the other form of minor cards are the rewards. These are stuff like exotics, engrams, materials, and that's it for what you're usually going to get. But there is also a minor card that will allow you to launch a time-gated activity. But this is a quest reward, so you're not going to get it randomly. Anyways, I'm not going to be spoiling what that activity is for you, so don't worry about that. With minor cards done, let's talk juicy stuff. The major cards. These are the cards that I'm excited about, you're probably excited about, and we're all looking forward to unlocking them. Because inside the activities that use them, it's like a whole other level of build crafting. Inside of the helm, there seem to be 12 major cards. We can tell by looking at the pedestals. Also, while we're here in the helm looking at the cards and their pedestals, if you're having a hard time remembering their names and exactly what they do, my best piece of advice is to look at the symbol at the top of the card. Usually, this will give you a pretty good idea of what the card is going to do, and if you've already watched this video or read through what their effects are, it should jog your memory. Alright, last thing before we get into the card effects themselves, what about when are we actually getting the rest of the cards? So, as you probably already know, we have access to the first 5. Next week, I imagine we will get access to 3 or 6, and I'll give my reasoning why this is in just a bit. Then after the next batch of cards, either we're going to get 3 more, or the final special card. So we're going to go over the cards in order, and once we know all of the cards, I'll get into what is the best way to build your deck of Whispers. Starting with number 1, of course, we have the Sisters. In addition to the gameplay effects, it makes it so that any chest you use keys on will drop more cards if there's any to be obtained. And it also gives you a new daily bounty, which a lot of these cards do, so I'm not going to be repeating that. So as for the gameplay effect, final blows have a chance to drop special ammo. Yeah, this card is good, because generating special ammo off of kills for free, pretty much, it doesn't have any downsides. It's simple, good, but it doesn't really have the same amount of dopamine compared to the card that spawns heavy and gets your screen all purple. Also, as for how potent it is, to be honest, I didn't see that much extra special dropping. Although, that's just the Destiny ammo economy, so who knows. Moving on to card number 2, we have the Witch. This one comes with no extra bonuses besides the gameplay effect, which increases damage with each final blow. Short and simple. And it's okay. I'm not sure how much the increase actually is, but honestly, it doesn't feel very noticeable. Since our current builds without cards are already kind of busted, it's a little difficult to know if this card is really worth it. Next, at number 3, we have the Adherent. No bonus effects for this one. As for the gameplay, rapidly defeating combatants has a chance to regenerate health and shields. Sounds pretty good, but what this card doesn't tell you is that it actually instantly gives you health and shield, as well as an overshield. So if you're constantly getting multi-kills, which you probably are, it's pretty damn good with how often it procs. Essentially an infinite overshield. Moving on to number 4, we have the Harbinger. For the seasonal bonus, it's actually the same as the Sisters, so you'll get more cards from using keys. And then as for the gameplay, final blows have a chance to create an explosion damaging nearby enemies. So similar to something like Firefly or Dragonfly, right? Well, this card sucks. What you're seeing in the background is the explosion. It's horrible. I had to force myself to use a weaker weapon with no incandescent or anything special to even see it happen. And even then, it doesn't happen often, and it doesn't do a large explosion or a high damage explosion. This card is for sure leaving my deck as soon as possible. And now moving on to the 5th card, and the final card we have unlocked, also probably the best one, it's Blades. No bonus effect, but the gameplay one says rapidly defeating combatants has a chance to drop heavy ammo. And I'm sure if you did any of the activities and someone pulled this card, you knew it was happening. But yeah, this is the big one. I don't see this card not being inside anyone's deck, because if someone on your team, again, pulls this card, you can use Galley or any other heavy like a primary weapon. Almost like how we can use Galley as a primary weapon in Dares of Eternity. So, 10 out of 10, banger card. And now, moving on, we have the cards that we don't have unlocked yet. So I guess if you clicked on this video not wanting spoilers, this is where you should click off. These next 3 are very similar to each other, which is why earlier I predicted it might just be 3 new cards for tomorrow or week 2. I also believe for unlocking these cards, they're going to be connected to those attunement required things in Savage Inspire. You know, the things we've all looked at but couldn't do anything with. Yeah, those. So at number 6, we have Lacuna. No bonus for this one, just the gameplay. Dealing void damage adds suppression. Yeah, these next few cards are going to be very self-explanatory. And as you see the pattern, they're pretty much just going to revolve around your weapons or subclass. So for this card, easy, cheesy suppression. What isn't there to enjoy? The next one in this little set, we have Liminal. No extra bonus, and then for its effect, dealing arc damage adds jolt. Yep, I think we're seeing the pattern. Again, this card is just simply great. But I would like to point out, it doesn't require a specific subclass. It just says damage. So, these past 2 cards, and the one we're about to see, can easily be beneficial as long as you're rocking the right weapon element. Don't even need the subclass. And for that next card, we have Ascension. No bonus effect, besides its gameplay one, being dealing solar damage adds Scorch. Who could have seen this one coming? Not a whole lot to add that isn't just repeating the last 2 cards. Free Scorch, free ignitions, big booms, easy. Moving on from that little group of very similar cards, we actually have another set of 3, which are very similar. Starting at number 9, we have Lament. No bonus effects. As for its gameplay effect, rapidly defeating combatants reduces class ability cooldown. We don't know how much this is going to reduce the cooldown, but with the add density, we're pretty much always getting rapid multi-kills. So I assume regardless of how much it is, the benefits of this card will be pretty great. And that card was for our class ability. So moving on to the next in this category, I guess, we have the 10th card, The Lie. For its gameplay effect, final blows reduce melee cooldown. So the last card gave us class ability, this card gives us melee. Unlike the one prior, however, it's not tied to multi-kills. So looks like this is just free pugilist. You're rocking a melee build, put it in your deck. And then moving on to the final card of this ability regen set. Can you guess which one it's going to be about? Well, at number 11 we have The Truth, and its effect is dealing damage reduces grenade cooldown. This one is actually even less commitment than the first 2. You don't even need to kill anything. You just deal damage and you get your grenade back. Suspiciously similar to Threat of Generation on Strand, but oh well, it's dank regardless. So again, you're doing a grenade build, put it in your deck. And then for the final card, being number 12, we don't know anything besides what it looks like. And it looks really cool, but by looking at it, we can also get some more information. First thing being its effect. At the top, we can see something that looks kind of like an orb of power, so I assume it'll have something to do with our super. That's the only ability we don't have a card for. And then after that, we can look in our triumphs and see that there is a secret triumph specifically for this card. So I imagine it will also launch with that secret mission or time-gated mission that's coming later in the season. Oh, also, you know, just looking at it, who knows, maybe this is the 15th wish. But that's all 12, technically 11 cards. So now that we know all of them, let's get to talking about the best deck. So as we revealed all the cards, we can tell the best deck isn't going to be the same for everyone. Since some cards have element and specific ability bonuses, there's going to be some fluidity to what the best deck is. But first things first, there is one card that stands above all, and that's Blades. Free heavy is literally good all the time. You need it. Put it in your deck, tell your teammates to put it in their deck, go crazy. As for the second most important card, I'd say use 1 or 2 from the elemental set. If you use a certain subclass or have a favorite gun, I would put in whatever card, or even cards, corresponds to those elements. Don't be shy just because you run solar to not put in the void card if you use like a void SMG. And then moving down the deck, we have another malleable choice, and it's to use, again, 1 or 2 from the ability region set. Base it off whatever ability you need the most, and honestly, with most builds, we dip into all 3 abilities, so even putting all 3 cards in, it's not that bad of an idea. And then, if you have one last slot that isn't full, I would recommend either putting in the Adherent for literally constant overshield, or whatever card number 12 is going to be. Since it's so secret, it's gotta be good, right? And those are my recommendations for your deck of Whispers. Once you know all the cards, you know, it's pretty much up to you, since there's hardly a single best deck. At the end of the day, if we're going to take anything away from this video, just stay away from Harbinger. And with that, that takes us to the end. Let me know down in the comments below what you're going to put in your deck of Whispers, because I'm honestly curious if there's even going to be much variation. And of course, if you want to support me, support this channel, a like, a comment, a subscription, greatly appreciated. Helps get my videos out into the algorithm. And if you'd like to support me and support the channel but you can't think of a comment down below, Deck of Whispers. And as always, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you around.